This is section C-5. These are the notes for it, the lesson. I can find measures of angles of triangles. This is really not a very difficult section. We've kind of gone through some of the difficult stuff where we're proving lines are parallel and that angles are congruent and such. This is just sort of following up with some things, and we'll get into constructions later on. So I've got a postulate and a couple of theorems. First of all, the parallel postulate basically says through a point not on a line, so in other words, here's a line L, here's a point not on the line P, there is one and only one line parallel to the given line. So in other words, it's saying if this line is here and P is not on the line, we can draw only one line through P that is parallel to L. I mean, we can draw an infinite number of lines through P. We can draw them this way, that way, the other way, but they're not parallel. Only one line would be. Here's one that you've probably known for years, the triangle angle sum theorem. The sum of the measures of the angles of a triangle is 180 degrees. So naturally, what's nice to know is if you have two angles, you know the third angle automatically. And then the last one is the triangle exterior angle theorem. Before we really get into it, we should identify something called the remote interior angles. So if you look here, we have three angles inside of the triangle. So if I cover up angle 1, which is actually on the outside of the triangle, you can see that two of the angles are identified, 2 and 3, and then there's a third angle right here which we don't even mark. Those three are the interior angles, and those all add up to 180 degrees. If I include this one's called an exterior angle, and there's one at each of the corners. There's 3 exterior angles here. But what's the measure of this angle? Well, according to this theorem, the measure of angle 1 is equal to these two added together. Okay, now why is that? Now think about it. If you look at angle 2 and 3 and the unknown angle, those add up to 180. Okay? Those add up to 180. And also, if I cover up 2 and 3, you'll notice that angle 1 and this angle also add up to 180. That's a linear pair. That's supplementary angles right there. So therefore, if 1 and, let's just call that x, 1 and x add up to 180, and 2 and 3 and x add up to 180, well then 1 has to be equal to 2 plus 3. And so there's your notes for the section C5.